Okay, yes, good, it's on. Okay, good evening, everyone. So, I haven't posted in a couple of days, and I keep making this goal that I'm going to do more and express more things. But I don't know, it feels like me posting videos is tracing that fine line between exposing who I am and building that community of who I am as an author, and just getting really self-conceited. On the one hand, as an author, I'm supposed to be able to say, here are my views, thoughts, opinions. Here's what I put into writing. Here's why a story written by me is worth your money. Basically. But then on the other hand, there's this kind of, I don't know, capital society like Hunger Games, where the people of Hollywood are able to say, my opinion is really important because I am a celebrity, because I have written a book, or started a movie, or written a song, even though I have nothing to do with the subject. And I don't like that self-conceited attitude, almost to the point where I almost shoot myself in the foot, lacking confidence. I hate that idea so much. But something I will talk about, I do have a little bit of experience, something that I am able to say something about, is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's what Megan and I did for my birthday this past Thursday night. See, here's how you know I'm getting old. I couldn't even remember my own birthday, and it happened a couple days ago. So, went and saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. My first thought was this was a desperate last attempt for JK Rowling to cling on to a career. Right? We've already heard rumors, Dumbledore and Grindelwald and all of these theories, and then, oh, hey, we're making a movie based on a textbook that's that thick. I hadn't heard a more ridiculous idea since they were going to make a movie of Where the Wild Things Are, which contained 8 sentences of words. And I was right about Where the Wild Things Are. That was horrible. But, my one-word review, or my one-sentence review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is, if you're looking for another Harry Potter movie, this is not that movie. Okay, you're looking for their version of The Cursed Child, or whatever they're going to do, something like that. You're looking for something that's a continuation of the Harry Potter line of stories. That's not this. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is the movie for people who love Harry Potter lore. If you have very particular and poignant ideas about Ilvermorny, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is for you. If you have had arguments about what house you were placed in according to various websites, this is the movie for you. If you've ever read back through the Harry Potter series and looked at all the kind of plot inconsistencies and magic world theorization inconsistencies, but still love the series anyways, then Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is the movie for you. On the one hand, it makes me darn proud to be a Hufflepuff. Okay, I will say it, Hufflepuff, bold and proud. Newt Scamander, the main character of the story, is a Hufflepuff. And I theorize, okay, this is my headcanon, is that Newt Scamander is autistic. You'll never hear me say that he has autism, because that's a whole nother video, but basically, I don't believe autism is something we need to cure. More like it's a computer programming language that we just need to learn how to interact with. But my theory is that Newt Scamander is autistic. He had difficulty making eye contact. He had a greater affinity for animals than he did people. And when it came to interacting with people, that's when he became awkward. Big things in the autistic community. That's theory. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to have their own ideas about it in the future, but that's my theory. And this is Newt Scamander just on a journey to protect, learn about, and show appreciation for and document everything about these wonderful magical creatures throughout the world. And that takes him to the United States during the 1920s. And I kind of got the idea that he was here for some other reason than the reasons he gave in the movie, but the reasons he actually gave weren't entirely met out in this movie, which I thought was rather interesting. Especially when we find out later on that JK Rowling has 4 more movies beyond this one, which makes me giddy, which I'll tell you about. So, do I now believe, having watched this, that JK Rowling is trying desperately to cling on to a career? No. If anything, I believe this is JK Rowling going back to her strengths. She did not do well in The Casual Vacancy. This was a tragedy. So she returned to, I think, what she loved. I think The Casual Vacancy is when she started playing to the crowd, and here's what she believed people would want, rather than something she had a strength with, and probably something she wanted to explore more on her own. Did she invent a lot of storyline? Yes and no. She'd already hinted at and thrown out information about the magical community in the United States. Kind of cool. And now she's getting to fill in the gaps that people have been theorizing for the past decade, right? And what makes this definitively not a Harry Potter movie, but a Harry Potter world movie, is that it's taking place 100 years before the events of Harry Potter. You meet Grindelwald, he's talked about in the Harry Potter series. You meet Dumbledore, he's talked about in the Harry Potter series. You meet, the movie's about Scamander, and he wrote one of the textbooks that Harry Potter has to read and study from. But that's it. There's a different vibe, there's a different feel, there's a different pull to Fantastic Beasts that isn't there with the Harry Potter series. We can entirely love it for different reasons, and I'm willing to bet there's going to be a community of people that enjoy Fantastic Beasts even if they don't enjoy Harry Potter. I love it. And as soon as Megan and I got home from watching this, we immediately pulled out her copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and started going through, and it was spot on accurate to the information that Harry Potter textbook provided. So my reluctancy to go and see this one has been completely out of proportion and misplaced. I thoroughly recommend Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them because it's that Harry Potter world movie and not just a Harry Potter movie. Which I think is the big difference between her trying to cling on to a career versus going back to her strengths. If she did nothing but Harry Potter for the rest of her known existence, she could build a good career off of that. You know, all she'd have to do is keep in touch with the social media communities, and especially the deviant artists, the Tumblr writers, the people who are saying, let's play with other ideas. What's that going to look like in Japan? What are people with this kind of stuff? Where can we throw in leshies and all the other magical creatures that thus far haven't been mentioned yet? There's a great big wide world for her to research and for her to build on, and I sincerely hope that she does. That having been said, I have some very particular ideas about Ilvermorny, and I hope we don't get to see much of it because it's basically an Irish school on American soil. So much of it is Irish, with some hints of Native American thrown in there. We do have information that there is a second magical school in America, somewhere in California, which, you know, if we're assuming that was built as soon as it could have been built in California, you're going to have Central and South American influence. Let's see some Quetzals. Let's see some Quetzalcoatls. You're going to have a lot of Chinese influence because guess who is building that railroad? You're going to have just all of your transplanters and homesteaders. What kind of magic are they using? And if she really wanted to build up Ilvermorny, let's talk more about the melting pot that America was. Let's talk about what Ilvermorny could have been rather than the information that was there. Because it's all Irish. It's like that person cared nothing about the world they had landed in, only about bringing the Irish world there with them. Which, that seems very narrow-minded. If you're building a school in new ground, let it be representative of both. And Ilvermorny's just too heavily Irish for me, and didn't recognize a lot of the mythology that the Puritans brought with them, that the Native Americans had, that could have existed. You know, let's talk about the Jersey Devil, Spring Hill Jack. Let's talk about Nessie, Champy, Sasquatch, if we want to go a little bit further north. But definitely Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is worth seeing. Alright? Go out and do something awesome. That's it for me.